doesn't allow you to score prior to that little stretch. They were only allowing just over 60 points per game. Their defensive scoring average went up 2 points in 2 games, which is hard to do this time of year. But this is a veteran team starting 4 seniors who've been part of 2 Final Four teams and also 110 victories. There is Fran McCaffrey in his 7th season as the Iowa head coach. And while Wisconsin is an excellent defensive team, McCaffrey is a terrific elite-level offensive coach, and his young team has shown that, improving over the course of the season. We're underway here at the Kohl Center. You see our officials tonight.
I'm really curious to see how many times Hap touches the ball and what happens with the double team. Which is, there it comes.
There's your answer. Double team on the first touch.
And it's a turnover. A good double team because they didn't foul, use their chest to drive Hap back.
That has been the defensive strategy of choice for most teams. Michigan State didn't do it over the weekend that much, but most teams have doubled the sophomore center, and it's reaped some dividends lately.
Yeah, he's so effective with the ball. He can score, but he's a terrific passer. He's a very good passer, and they run so much of their offense through him.
One of the freshmen, Isaiah Moss, putting it up top for Tyler Cook with a flush. Cook coming off a double-double against Maryland.
Not only did I like it, I like the confidence to throw the pass early. By the way, this is a chain trap. It's not necessarily to get the ball back, but trying to throw. Good pass.
That's what he did.
Yeah, that was a nice play. And that's sometimes the danger of opening the floor up for a team that's struggling like Wisconsin.
Iowa turns it over. They tried to get the ball in the post pretty much in transition, something you pointed out to watch for from them. They've done very well.
It's almost a secondary offense where they're running fast break, don't have numbers, but beat everybody outside covering.
Bronson Koenig misses his first 3-point try. He's Wisconsin's all-time leader in 3-pointers made.
It's right here they were getting before. That time a pretty good front by Hap, so they couldn't get the post pass. Cook was on fire, certainly against Michigan.
Against Maryland over the weekend, Cook went 21-10, but couldn't get it over the top of the Badger defense. And here comes Nigel Hayes. This senior class and Hap enjoyed extraordinary success. Hap double, almost another turnover. Showalter saves it, and then he kicks it off his foot. Hayes with a bucket.
Well, 2 doubles, 2 turnovers. That time, Goodman's fortunate for Wisconsin to get the ball back.
Ball looks a little slippery in here.
That's what I was going to say. Or maybe it's nerves, who knows. Both teams, they want to prove they were as good as against Maryland, and they need to win. You know.
That is a good sign for Iowa. Isaiah Moss. Moss has really been struggling scoring. He only had 6 points in his last 4 games after a 19-point game against Minnesota. Vito Brown.
Attacking press, by the way. Perfectly spaced, getting 3-on-2s down this end. Don't know if it's worth the gamble right now.
Well, that's what you've always believed, is that when you face a press, you got to attack it to score. If not, there's no risk involved, right?
They'll play it all night long and not pay any price.
Foul is called by Pat Driscoll. He's going to get him on Wagner. Wagner's first.
Yeah, when you put this kind of pressure on, you're not really trying to get the steal, you're trying to get disruption. But if you keep getting scored on, you're going to make some value adjustments. Now, once again, we both know that I was going to play 2-3, 1-3-1, a little bit of a matchup, man-to-man, 1-2 pressure. This diamond look, once again, is look to disrupt. Man, that time didn't do it, but it slowed them down some.
So you're wanting to slow them down, but Wisconsin already wants to play slowly. So what's the benefit? Just less time in the half court?
Yeah, well, I mean, that time the ball started to get set at 18 seconds on a 30-second clock.
And here's the example. Only 1 second left on the shot clock. Showalter has to rush it.
And didn't get the shot they normally get. Nice pass.
How about Bohannon?
How about that pass?
How about that? Jordan Bohannon, who hit 8 threes against Maryland this weekend, this time shows a sweet pass to Cook for another flush.
Better retreat back in the zone of the press that time so they wouldn't get beat on the open jump shot. Good kick out. You know what? And that was a little bit rush for Wisconsin.
Comes the Big Ten's leading scorer, Peter Jock. Haven't mentioned him yet. Averaging better than 20 points per game in his senior season with the Hawkeyes. He's been the leader of this really young Iowa team. Cook missed that shot, but he's starting to find himself, Jim.
He's trying to score. I didn't like a fadeaway by him. He's too good a strong a player to get away from the basket. Didn't need to. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure what that was.
The fans here in the Kohl Center believe that it was a foul, but Hayes lost it out of bounds. No foul call.
And it's just very disruptive if they can't go to half low. That's a big part of their offense. Nigel Hayes into half. Get the ball into the post.
Habs taking a break. Wisconsin's going with a bit of a smaller lineup now as Dimitri Trice, freshman guard, has checked in. Cordell Pemsel, another of Fran McCaffrey's freshman, is inbounding the ball and into the game for the first time in the early going. Wisconsin, to set the stage for you, we told you about their struggles, but the Badgers can still get a share of the Big Ten regular season title, but they have to win out and hope that Purdue loses over the weekend. Purdue plays Northwestern.
I think on the sideline, squeeze it. Really good pass, right into his pocket. He put his head up, which is fine, but get the ball, then head up. Look it into your hands.
More pressure, and this time Showalter takes care of it easily, but here comes the trap in the corner, and Zach's got a world of trouble.
I'll tell you what, the double teams are working.
This is one of the things that we were talking to McCaffrey today in practice, that early in the season, because they are young, sometimes they didn't have a clue about rotations and proper places to be on defense as they force another turnover. But as the season has progressed, they've improved defensively.
Oh, no question. I mean, early in the season, teams, they were giving 90 points up. They were just a bad offensive team, and Fran says that.
Cook muscling it up, can't get the roll.
I'll tell you what,
they scored 90 and lost. They had a game with Peter Jock, 40 plus and lost.
And they were giving points like it was Christmas. I mean, they were giving away everything. And very simply, I mean, that's not how you're going to win games. They're a good offensive team, and you really started the season off pretty good offensively. You cannot let that happen.
Following your own shot like that.
Exactly right.
Shooter get it.
Shooter knows where it's going. It's going to be blocked.
Whistle. No basket. Yeah, this was going to wave it off. Nigel incredulous that the basket's not going to count, but he will have to wait until the end of his Wisconsin career and on in the professional career before that one counts.
Is that what incredulous looks like?
It is.
I thought it was.
Nigel and I have had this thing the last couple of years. I like to throw out a word that they can use.
Yeah.
And we see Tyler Cook, the freshman, hobbling over to the sideline, and there's hope that maybe he was pointing to the inside of his right knee. Hopefully that was this little bruise, and he'll be back. He's such a huge part of this Iowa team.
I mean, he owned the game, and he owned the paint. You can't let him shoot that open.
And there's a guy that owns the three-point record for Wisconsin. Nobody's made more in a Wisconsin uniform than Koenig, and the Badger lead stretches to 4.
Yeah, he's good enough, even though it was deep. You can't let him shoot it deep and not have a hand up.
Foul called.
You know, the old saying used to be no hand up, points down.
Trice picks up his first, and Koenig made that 3, Jim. He was just 1 of 9 Sunday against Michigan State, including a couple of late misses, back-to-back shots that he rarely misses that would have drawn the Badgers a little bit closer to the Spartans.
Well, he probably was arguably as great a clutch shooter as they've had. 55% from 3 in the last 5 minutes of game during his career. That's pretty sensational stuff.
Last 2 years, he's a clutch shot after clutch shot, NCAA tournament.
Late on his double team.
It's so pure. When you see him get his feet set and under, you expect it to go in.
You can't let him throw a weak side.
How about that pencil? Yeah. And the quick post, too, right?
That's a quick, I call it a transitional post. It's like a secondary post. They can't get primary fast break, so they're getting a secondary break with the teams spread out defensively against them.
I think Iowa is pretty good now, but you look at all of the young players on the 4 pencil who just scored on the other end. I think their future is terrific. Here comes one of those freshmen, Jordan Bohannon. Bohannon fires. Bottom.
Wow. There's another wow again.
His 2 brothers, as you know, Jason and Zach, both played for the Badgers. But his family, an Iowa family, they're his 2 brothers. In fact, with that 3, he's now made more threes in a single season than Jason ever did. So he wins the family 3-point contest.
No double team that time. He's so difficult to play one-on-one.
15-11. And the pencil almost got away, or almost traveled. He did get away with it if he did. Bear throwing it in traffic.
It's that slippery basketball you were talking about. But there is a lot of turnovers and the ball floating around.
Slathered in baby oil and wrapped in rattlesnakes.
Something like that.
Hayes will go to the free throw line where Nigel has struggled. Coming up, it's our one big thing. This week we'll take a closer look. A couple of guys who have been feeling it from deep. You've already seen evidence.
The ball player is what he is, not a freshman.
Caney's hit one on the other end, and just before the break, I thought that they called the foul on Ewell against Nigel Hayes in the act of shooting. They did not. They called it on the floor, so it'll be a fresh shot clock.
Yep.
And Wisconsin ball. Here's to meet the Trice.
Wasn't quite set, drifting to his right. Easy to say from here.
Trice has shot it very well, nearly 45% from behind the arc.
Boy, does he move.
Bohannon again. Let me tell you, today, when we were talking about Bohannon,
yes,
he might not be the quickest guy in the world, but Jim, you pointed out that creating space laterally
with your dribble,
extraordinarily quick.
He's about as good as you're going to see. We had obviously a great player doing it, Kimball Walker, but they create space by not just pounding up and down. It's not a horizontal thing; it's a vertical thing to get you away from the defense.
Revan Pritzl. They've been waiting on him to get that three-point shot going. An offensive rebound, his second chance, and Pritzl missed from outside and in. Bohannon, Trice got out there quickly, and Bohannon was thinking about it again.
And by the post-up was open that time, too. This is a kid they want. They want some energy off the bench. They're looking to get more scoring. Ooh. You know, it's funny. Cook dives in there. Pritzl doesn't.
Don, you
travels. Yep. Just watch how quick when he gets the ball, getting free, and now bang. That's quick. You know, when he got the ball, he knew exactly where he was going, and obviously the defender didn't. He's one of those guys that's quick with the basketball, and that's the only thing that comes. It looks like it's a part of him, you know what I'm saying? And he can shake it pretty good. He worked really hard to get free in the first place.
He has played really well. His brother Zach, who, as I mentioned earlier, played at Wisconsin, has been to every game this year, and he's keeping it going tonight. Hat by himself, missed once, but went all Moses Malone on it. Got himself an offensive rebound and a bucket.
What I loved, he stayed with it, and B, what I loved about it, he's so quick off the floor.
What percentage of our younger audience do you think have any idea what I meant when I mentioned Moses Malone?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Moses Malone, the great center, was notorious not only for getting rebounds, but getting his own rebounds and putting it back. Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern time on ESPN, rematch. Duke and North Carolina again. Tar Heels have already wrapped up no worse than a share of the ACC regular season title. They'll be #1 seed in the ACC tournament. Sonic Blockbuster can be seen streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Duke and Carolina never fail to deliver.
I think you'll be there.
I will be. College game day. Back on Tobacco Row. We were there for the game. Chapel Hill. Hap going in and block.
It was the end of your cylinder, I think.
It was Bear called for the block.
Number 51, Nicholas Bear is first.
Right now, I wouldn't be surprised late. Tony's made a couple threes already, but you might see a zone come up. It seems to me, even when they've missed, that the offense and defense is pretty open. And I don't think you want to take a team that's struggling and open their offense up so that post is so free, the lane's getting free.
Half has struggled at the free throw line, making just over half of them this year. Charged into Bear. He and Hap and Bear were AAU teammates.
Oh, really?
Quad City Elite. Both redshirted their first year on campus.
Two pretty good players have an AAU team, that's for sure. Excuse me.
Brady Ellingson with the ball. Ellingson, this is a bit of a homecoming for him. He's from the state of Wisconsin. Bohannon almost had it knocked away. It's deep. That might be a step deeper than you want. Wow. Kriener had it. Look at Showalter with those 4 burns. Bear, bottom.
I'll tell you what, those young kids, they really pass the ball and really are shooting. You know what they're doing? Shooting the ball well, but they're shooting with confidence. They're not hesitating. I said that about Fran McCaffrey before. He creates confidence in his shooters. He gets upset if you pass on an open shot.
He hit 3 out of 5 from behind the arc. Foul's called on Bohannon. It's his first.
Really nice pass because he hit him right in front, led him to the rim as opposed to going back for the ball. It was a shooter's pass.
Bear's a little bit of a do-everything guy for Iowa as Koenig answers. Folks knocking it down tonight, Jim.
A hedge showed and disappeared, and maybe the best three-point shooter in this particular game. That's not a good thing. You can't leave him open.
Saw him last Thursday night have a splendid three-point shooting night. Scored 27 in a losing effort at Ohio State.
Yeah, took on the hedge. Now I'm going to leave the best three-point shooter Wisconsin alone. No thank you. You know, I'd say to my assistant, if he wasn't so good, I'd take him out. I need him at the other end right now.
Ryan Kriener picked up that last foul. It's his first. Big
Double team, yeah.
Big Ten's leading scorer, Peter Jock, taking one shot.
And by the way,
he goes off of Koenig again into the Iowa basketball.
And not looking for him. They've got to look for Peter Jock a lot more.
Wisconsin has a 4-point lead. Vito Brown might very well be one of the ordinary people, but he's got extraordinary talent.
That's not an ordinary voice, I know that much.
He's a great singer. He started singing at a very young age. Kristen Williams misses the layup. With his family's group Shades of Brown, and as many people, certainly Wisconsin fans, are aware, when they went to the Final Four, ended up playing in the national championship game a couple of years ago. Vito was part of the quartet for the Final Four Saturday that sang the national anthem.
Yeah, the special kid, senior, is giving great contributions to Wisconsin over the past 4 years.
This is a unique group of seniors. Group as Hap spins to the bucket and scores. A group that not only has excelled on the court, but they've made their mark off the court, whether it's with the great musical talent from Vito Brown, the activism off the court issues by both Nigel Hayes and Koenig. Zach Showalter is a tremendous student and scrapped his way as a former walk-on into being a regular starter at Wisconsin. It's a really unique group of seniors that the Badgers have here that will play their final home game here in the Kohl Center over the weekend.
Well, I mean, I always say, if you go through a lot of universities and go through the teams, and everybody, there's great stories out there. And obviously, Wisconsin has quite a few.
They have more than their fair share.
Yeah.
Oh, bank open. Nicholas Bear's got another triple.
Nicholas did the right thing. He didn't smile. Yeah. He acted like I planned that. By the way, what the little adjustment that Iowa did. Iowa is now, Wisconsin is playing half at the high post elbows so he doesn't get double teamed.
Here's Bear, had to cut that thing loose and had it on line.
And then he kind of skips down the court, which I like.
Yeah. And he's their best offensive rebounder and just a tick behind Peter Jock for their overall rebounder. You see him hitting these threes. Now, I love the way the sports information directors find these different levels.
Exactly.
But it is a unique thing. He scored 200 points, has 170 rebounds, 35 blocks, 40 steals, and 30 made threes. There's only one other player in the entire country who hit those marks. It's Deontay Burton from Iowa State. And then he gets in there and forces a jump ball, and the arrow's pointing in their direction. So he, once again, showing his versatility.
Showing his junkyard dog in a real complimentary way. I mean, he does so many things. He tried to take a charge already. He gets the offensive rebounds. He tied it up to get the ball possessed again by Iowa. He's a really good player. And you'd love to have him, only a sophomore. I can't believe that we're trying to go to him now, but Jock's only played 8 minutes and got one shot. Nice move.
Put his shoulder into Showalter. Showalter has been, we talked about him earlier, he's been guarding the opponent's best offensive guard most times for Wisconsin, and he's kept Jock quiet so far.
Tell you what he is, he's tough. Showalter's a tough kid. I love the way he plays. He just does things to help you win. You know, when you talk about teams having some streaks not playing quite as well, if you're at Wisconsin, you've had a heck of a 4 years. That's a guarantee.
No doubt. Showalter's going to take a break. Fritzl returns. Cap's out there along with Hayes, Koenig, and Trice. Purdue has clinched a share of the Big Ten championship, and that notwithstanding, it's felt as if a lot of these leaders in the Big Ten haven't exactly come to the wire like American Pharaoh here, and it's kind of been stumbling a little bit.
But you certainly need to make a case. There's a lot of good teams in this league. I'm not saying that the league is loaded, but every game is a tough game. I mean, the last place team, Rutgers, has played well. We should have won at Madison Square Garden against the #1 team at that time, Wisconsin.
Hayes called for his first foul. We're going to talk to Joe Lunardi later on, Jim, about some of that Big Ten's tournament prospects. You see a lot of teams in that 8-9 area, but I think you and I both believe in certain matchups, certain nights, if you get that, you really want to see Michigan or Michigan State coming in your round of 32 game if you're a 1 seed?
No, thank you. I mean, Michigan, I've seen them play offensively as well as any team in the country.
Cap was just called for that foul. His first. Here are the standings, the top 8 teams in the Big Ten, and all of the seedings for the conference tournament still to be determined, with the exception of Purdue. They've clinched the #1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. And Northwestern, with that spectacular home run play, probably, you can never say anything definitively, but I can't imagine now that the Wildcats aren't a lot no matter what. Jock has Fritzl posted up, and Peter scores for the first time tonight, and he'll get a chance to make it 3.
And that was a hard run hoop. Established position, can't go back to his right. Good job by Fritzl defensively, but then he comes back into the man and fades away a little bit. Body, ball, I say 1,000 times, I know, but contact to create the shot.
Jock scored 30 or more 5 times this year. Only Markelle Fultz among major conference players has matched that. He's also the Big Ten's leading free throw shooter, better than 92%, so that one was all but automatic.
You know, for a terrific player, he really has kind of gone under the radar. And that's somewhat because he plays on such a young team. A little late on the double team, but
a couple of paint touches for both Hap and Hayes, and no shot, and instead they're left with one from well outside the paint that didn't draw iron. Fritzl has to throw it up and top of the backboard, and that will not go down in the Wisconsin annals as one of the Badgers' great possessions. Superstar players in our NBA Friday doubleheader. LeBron and the Eastern leading Cavs in Atlanta to take on the Hawks, 7 o'clock Eastern time, and then Boogie Cousins, who had to serve a suspension. Anthony Davis and the Pelicans host Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs. Pelicans was trying to find their rhythm with Boogie and Anthony Davis. With 4 games out of that last playoff spot. Everything streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN as Isaiah Moss hits the 3, and Iowa's on a 9-0 run and take a 3-point lead.
You know, I don't know if Iowa could have done this a couple weeks ago. Now, I really do. I really think they're playing better, obviously. I think that win over Maryland was gigantic, especially at Maryland.
Another turnover. Have Jock ahead of the crowd momentarily, and Peter slips out behind the 3-point line. Showalter turned it over and then got it back. Now, this is what Happ can do as a big guy. Lead the break. Used to be a guard in a younger line.
Yep. That was a good semi-front. And fairness, by the way.
All right, Adnan. And it is getting to be crunch time. Teams desperately needing the wins. Joe Winardi, according to bids by conference, he's got 10 teams from the ACC going in. That would be just one short. The 11 the Big East sent a few years back. Something with which you're intimately familiar, Jim.
Yeah, 11 in 2011. Pretty special. Pretty special. Wow. Let's see.
Who won the championship in 2011? I can't quite remember.
I think Kimball Walker and the kids he played with won the good UConn won that championship. And, you know, I think people will still remember that smile by Kimball Walker. Obviously, he's a great play. He was terrific.
You seem to grin a little bit yourself.
Every time I say his name, I do. You're not really. He's a terrific basketball player, but a great leader and great kid.
Happ kicked it out. Vito Brown. And the scoring drought for Wisconsin continues. They haven't scored since the 7-19 mark. And step on the sideline, out of bounds, but tremendous.
I think if I was an official, I wouldn't call that because the effort was so great. Don't ruin it. I know he's out of bounds, but come on, man. Watch.
Yeah, right there.
Look away. I wouldn't say that as a coach.
No.
Great hustle, both teams. Great hustle.
You did mention not just hustle, but you mentioned the word confidence, which the fellas in black are playing with tonight.
He'll hit or not.
Iowa's supposed to be an offensive team, but they are shutting down the Badgers right now. And the aggressive Moss, an offensive rebound momentarily for Cook. There's Showalter diving again, and it'll be Iowa ball.
The great thing that Cook did was go up to get the ball. The bad thing he did, he brought the ball down to his waist. He became 5'6", watch. You come 5'6" when you bring it down. Keep it up here, and the only thing you're going to run into to try to get it is your elbows. Don't swing them, protect the ball. I hate big guys who want to be 5'6" all of a sudden by bringing the ball down.
Talked about the effort from Iowa. Just saw plenty from Showalter on those last 2 replays.
This is not a particularly pretty game right now, but it's a very physical game. More physical than I normally see an Iowa team play. Although Maryland game was very physical too. Very physical.
All right, so Wisconsin's working on a 5-minute offensive drought. And you said it wasn't pretty. Now, typically, one would think that would favor the Badgers. Do you see it that way? The way the tempo of the game's going, the way the game's being played?
I'm very honest with you. I haven't seen a tempo to the game. I've seen 2 teams going at each other. I think you only have 23-26 with 2 minutes to go in a half.
There's Happ. There is a lid on that Badger bucket.
It was a heck of a rebound by Cook. He snatched that thing.
Bear again, and this time didn't even have to use the glass.
It's not me with the conference of shooting.
Bears got 9 points. Iowa up by 6 on the road. approaching 5 minutes since Wisconsin has scored. During that time, Iowa's put up a dozen. They lead by 6.
There's that zone we talked about, the 1-3-1.
Another turnover for the Badgers. And Moss gives it right back.
You know, it's a bad turnover because they're all bad. But that was a particular one because it was a terrific steal off the 1-3-1, surprise element. And he put his head down and just threw the ball up there. Space, you can't be close together on a break. Let's see if they go back to the zone or back man.
There's that 12-0 run, and the scoreless streak for Wisconsin extends even longer than that. Their last point at the 7:19 mark of the first half.
Even though the score wouldn't indicate it, the numbers up there, what would indicate it is that right now Iowa's shooting 50%.
There's Happ inside, and he's fouled.
The Iowa fouls on the court. Isaiah Moss is first, the team 7.
Isaiah Moss called for his first.
Shooting 1-1.
Happ got hit in the eye.
That can't feel good.
You know, the 50% free throw shooters going to the line for a 1-1 with his team. I've been stuck on 23 for a while. Still are.
Good effort.
Great maturity by this young Iowa team in the first half. Kept the crowd quiet, much as they did against Maryland on Saturday. Bohannon. And Showalter is able to come up with it. Think you might have a foul in there. Koenig. There it goes. First bucket in a long time. Since the 7:19 mark, Koenig's into double figures. Went 6.5 minutes, a little more than that without points. But still, you go 6.5 minutes without scoring. You find yourself just down by 4 with 26 seconds left to go in the first half. What about this drive? Well, senior guard.
One thing he does is when he handles the ball, no help here. A stunt's not going to work. Someone's
to that list, but that documentary was sensational.
It was.
I mean, it stretched beyond just the story of O.J. Simpson into the surrounding storylines in Los Angeles over several years leading up to that. Remarkable. Good to see them recognized for their work.
It was a story of our country, really.
Shot clock inside 5. Bohannon got away with the travel, and Bear paid it off with another 3. He's got 4 of those babies in the first half. Wow. Iowa, a double-digit underdog coming into this, goes to the half, leading by 7.
I'll tell you what, this young team came out excited, played well, and carried the confidence over they had against Maryland in that great win.
32-25 at the break after these commercial messages. We'll join Ed and Burke in the studio. In that first 20 minutes.
It's Iowa's rebounding, Iowa's defense, and three-point shooting, 7 for 11 first half.
7 for 11. Wisconsin's not a great three-point defense team. They've been good from 2, but Iowa shot the lights out from deep, and they'll start in the second half here with a 7-point edge. Let's have Joe Bernardi join us now, live in the Infinity Bracket Bunker. And Joe, let's start with the Big Ten. And I think since we're here, I want to start with Iowa. Long way to go here. I understand that. They've got a couple of good conference wins on their resume. What do the Hawkeyes have to do down the stretch to get into this bubble discussion? And Joey also would add a win over Purdue in the early going too. Now, the Big Ten, Joe, when the committee first released those 16 teams initially, didn't have anybody on the top 4 lines, and Wisconsin's reeling a little bit, maybe Purdue's in there too. How do you see the Big Ten right now? A lot of teams on that 8, 9, 10 range. And one last one, Joe, here. Northwestern, now we've talked about them a lot. They've never made the tournament before. Are they a lock now, meaning that even if they lose the rest of their games, they're going to hear their name called on Selection Sunday after that fabulous win against Michigan last night? All right, Joe. Joe always keeping an eye on things. We'll be talking to him a lot between now and Selection Sunday. That's Joe Lenardi joining us live in the Infinity Bracket Bunker. And while Joe is getting us an update on the bracket, you didn't miss a single bucket. Nobody scored yet here in the second half.
That's all going in even.
Peter Jock, the Big Ten's leading scorer, Jim, only 3 in the first half.
This game was far even in the second half. Back and forth of turnovers and not good shots. It's a really unbalanced game. No one's found true rhythm. I think the reason that I was ahead, as I said, they rebound better than Michigan has. I mean, excuse me, Wisconsin has. They made threes. And honestly, the defense is very good.
And Tyler Cook, Jim, just went to the bench. He just picked up his 3rd foul. Cordell Pemsel, another freshman, checking in. Cordell started a lot this season. Did not start tonight, but played extensively. And Cook's been a big presence for them. Wisconsin went that last 7-19 of the first half with only 2 points, outscored 15-2 down the stretch. They just look out of sorts. They really have the last couple of weeks.
You know, if you talk about the swing offense, I don't see it being played. That was a good shot, one-on-one play, but that's not what you think of with Wisconsin basketball. Trust me, they'll take it right now. They better score.
Any kind of bucket's a good one. And Dimitri Trice giving Wisconsin its first points and the game's first points in the second half. Interested to see if Iowa can get Peter Jock going.
I was thinking the exact same thing. He's open there. Nice pass.
Gets an assist. Pemsel finishes.
And that's the thing I think people don't see, his ability to put the ball on the deck and do good things with it.
I think if you'd told Fran McCaffrey that he'd go to the locker room, the Kohl Center, Jock having 3 points in the first half and a 7-point lead, I think he'd take that every time.
Every time.
Nigel Hayes with a chance for a 3-point play.
A little more isolation coming out in the second half. Isolation by Wisconsin to try to get guys going to the rim. Another way to get balls into the paint without a pass by creating dribbles into the paint. They've always done that, going back a couple of years ago, and they've had some great players to do it.
Nigel makes that free throw. It's been an up and down free throw season for him. He was a good free throw shooter earlier in his career, and he is now, with that one, just tied most free throws made in school history. Orlando Tucker.
It looks to me, just looks to me, like both teams are really digging in on defense. This game maybe.
Joe Walters called for the foul, much to the chagrin of the partisan crowd dressed in red.
What do you think? Balls on the floor. They're both going for it. Let's see it here. All right, balls on the floor, both going for it. Yeah, he pushed it back so he couldn't get the ball. Yep. Good call, Pat Driscoll.
As our good friend Bill Raftery likes to say, a little discard, right?
Yeah, it was.
Bohannon working on Price.
Both teams are playing chest to chest defense. That's why he's getting so many fouls.
Price is second. A couple of freshman guards going at it there that are going to see a whole lot of each other over the next 4 years.
Each other and like
Big
each
Ten.
other and hate each other all at the same time.
Jock gets rid of Showalter for a moment. Peter almost traveled, kept that pivot foot down, and Wagner waving off the bucket, and they're saying the foul's on the floor.
I don't think that was a good call at the end.
We'll take another look, see if Pete was able to keep that pivot foot down. That's up and down. He came off before. It should have been a turnover.
I'm saying the basket should have been good.
Well, maybe it all came out in the wash because it should have been Wisconsin's ball anyway.
Yep.
Unless, of course, Pencil scores here.
I think you had to call that a foul. Not sure, but I think you should.
It's difficult to find something that everyone agrees on, but I believe that one we can. Showalter picks up his second.
By the way, we have 7 fouls in 3 minutes. As I said, everybody's chest to chest, right?
You think it's March basketball?
Well, I think it's football right now, but I mean, both teams know the importance of the game.
Showalter got that elbow right to the chin, and his head popped back like a rock'em sock'em robot. Pencil makes them both.
Pencil gave him a good lift, by the way, with Cook on the bench. As you said, he started when Cook was out for about 8 games.
You know, Pencil leads the Big Ten in field goal percentage, but that's because in non-conference games he shot about 70%. He's a little over 50% in conference play, but still a really good-looking freshman. Trice. Wagner outfights Hayes for the rebound.
Very good rebound. Nice pass.
Moss.
I didn't like the shot, but I love the pass.
Moss has been in recent games, Jim, sort of reluctant to look for a shot. We've seen a little more aggression from him offensively tonight to hit a three-pointer, but sometimes you employed an interesting way to get guys to learn the difference between good shot and bad shot. During practice, you'd have guys tell you when they thought they'd taken a bad shot?
Well, what we did is we used to talk to the kids and say simply, tell me if you're a good shooter taking bad shots. That was a good shot, by the way.
Any shot that Bronson Koenig takes is pretty much a good shot, right?
Or are you a bad shooter? They always say I'm a good shooter. I said taking bad shots, so they admit that, as long as I said they were good shooters. But then I'd say, then let's stop taking bad shots. So all through practice, I'd have a deal. Tell me when you take a bad shot.
What about the hands from Pencil in there as he has 8 points?
And he's playing, I mean, that's a great lift when Cook, who was tremendous against Maryland, is really off to a terrific start too, comes in and does that.
Showalter
from Hawkeyes.
I might feel a little something offensive for Wisconsin. They found a little something, more penetration, I think. Here's the guy I think they're going to need to get going. I don't think, I know they're going to need to get him going.
Pencil sets a ball screen. Jock still can't shake himself free. Here's Jock, contested three, goes!
How do you like that? The old Goodwill honey. I like them apples, you know? Am I right?
And a chance for 3 more from Koenig, this time the old-fashioned way. And we got a little offensive rhythm going from both teams. Our crew doing work. There's Josh on the contested 3.
Yeah, that's one of the ones. Okay, you can push me out and out, but you can't push me out of the building. I'm going to make a shot.
Iowa's 8 of 13 from 3. Bronson Koenig has 16 points. He's 4 of 6 from behind the arc. And now he's attempting to finish off a 3-point play.
I might make it to one of our players. Just the thought that, you know that kid 24? I don't want to see him open like that again.
17 for Koenig. Here's Jock. O'Hannon leaves it on the front.
Just missed. Just floating maybe a tad to the left. Solid up, solid down. Towards the rim.
Half and Pencil fighting for the rebound. Iowa basketball.
And that's important, by the way, that Pencil's there, because if Hap gets that, it's going to be a score. Pencil doing a really good job of filling in for Cook. He's a good player in his own right. Only a freshman. Only a freshman.
And Hap's a really good offensive rebounder, second in the league in offensive rebounds. Pencil working on his offensive glass. He rolled off on Peter Jock. Nigel Hayes fouled on his way to the bucket.
The Iowa Hawkeyes on 0.
Let's see it.
Wagner is third. The team
That's
is
3 on Wagner.
One for the Badgers, Nigel Hayes.
A couple of guys touched that last one on the rim.
They really did. But then the officials were looking down the floor, I think.
Hayes makes a free throw. Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern time. It'll be Duke and North Carolina. Tar Heels have already clinched the ACC regular season, at least a share, in the #1 seed in the tournament, but they're trying to avoid being swept by the Blue Devils in the regular season. Carolina lost 86-78 back in early February. Sonic blockbuster. You see streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Hayes became Wisconsin's all-time leader in free throws made, making 1 out of 2. Wow. Bear.
I said, wow, because he took off. I'm not sure he's going to do it, but I guess he did. Old jump hook shot, right?
He got the jump hook. He's banked in a 3. He's done a little bit of everything. 14 points.
Steal, tie up.
App stepped on the baseline.
And for the Badgers,
Nicholas Bear.
replaces Bronson Katie.
What's that?
What about Bear?
Unbelievable. What else you want me to do, Coach?
Do a little bit of everything.
And then you got him 2 more years, too.
Yeah. Redshirt sophomore, a chance to grow in the program.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I just didn't know how that was. I thought he was posting up mid-post. I'm trying to figure. He's asking the same thing.
Yeah, this Pencil here, and they called him for the illegal screen as he turned around to look for the ball. And
I think it's legal.
yeah,
I mean, legitimate happens to open up.
big rear ends sent Trice flying, though.
They
looked like a
tend
foul.
to get in the way. Purposely, but in the way.
4-point lead for the Hawkeyes on the road, one that they desperately need. We talked to Joe Lenardi a little earlier about Iowa, the opportunity perhaps to play its way into tournament consideration. Bear with a steal. Bohannon.
Wow, that was deep.
He is not scared.
The word unconscious is another word I think he might use. But you know, he doesn't try to force shots. He thinks that he makes that long shot.
Iowa doesn't want you. Fran McCaffrey doesn't want them to pass up open looks. Now, with the way he's been shooting it this year, and particularly recently, it's different from Showalter. Just about anything is a good look for him.
But Bear and Showalter have a lot in common. He's starting to be a test early.
Hap almost had a steal. It'll stay on this end as the sellout crowd. It's 56 in a row.
And by the way, no foul on that. I love the no call. Let them fight for it.
Here's the tournament resume that we've alluded to a couple of times. And they've had some tough losses early in the season while they were breaking in a lot of these freshman players. But you have wins against Michigan, Purdue, Maryland, and if they can pull one out here, a pretty good list of wins in conference play. Showalter holds Jock. That's his third. So it would be a pretty good list of wins.
There's going on a discussion over there.
Fran's getting a little heated. He needs to be careful here. He occasionally has been known to beg to differ with gentlemen wearing stripes.
There's a lot of different things, but easy Irish. I always blame it on that.
What an entertaining guy. Terrific job he's done at Iowa and really everywhere he's been from back in his days at Siena.
And he's a terrific basketball coach. No question about that.
Jock step back. See if Wisconsin can get an easy bucket. Iowa gets back on defense quickly enough. It's one of the things that Wisconsin, despite the slow tempo they need to do, occasionally will sneak in and get an easy bucket on you.
No question. You know, but there hasn't been that many easy buckets all day. The difference right now with Wisconsin is spacing out and giving a lot more isolation to Hayes, Happ, etc.
Hayes pulls the Badgers even. He'll have a chance to give them the lead when you come back. Mate can get his 9th point. Wisconsin will have the lead. He cannot, and they do not. So we're tied at 43.
Whiskey was shifted in the second half. Iowa was shooting 50% in the first half, now 36. And by the way, Wisconsin's up to 50% for this half.
Iowa only shot 33% from two-point range in the first half as Bear fires again.
Fires was a word that you never elevated on a shot.
Wisconsin defensively, Jim's top 10 in the country in two-point field goal defense, but forget just the stretch of the last couple of games where they haven't played well. They've been among the bottom 50 in the country in three-point defense, so it's not uncommon to see, maybe not 60% the way Iowa shot for much of the game, but it's not uncommon to see them give up makes from three-point land. Hayes, and now Wisconsin has the lead again.
Playing like a veteran right now. Got to try to take over.
A 10-2 run for the Badgers gives them the lead for the first time since just over 4 minutes left in the first half. 4:23 mark the last time they had the lead.
I would like to see Cook back in, only because you're going to need some inside presence.
Happ tried to draw the charge, and he's calling for the block.
Nigel Hayes once again trying to play like a veteran, which he is. And a very good player, nice spin move. Goes towards the rim, nice little floater.
Foul's called on Happ, I believe. It's his second. Still on the floor. Next foul against the Badgers. Iowa will be shooting free throws.
Well, we're going to see a lot of foul shots. We should on the stretch. We still have 10.5 minutes to go.
Okay, it brings to mind, if you went to quarters, or if you did the silly thing we're going to experiment with in the NIT and reset the fouls at the 9:59 mark or whatever, you avoid some of those one-and-ones. You like the idea of going to quarters?
I just want to make sure that we don't have marches to the foul line, so I'd be anything that we can do that makes logical sense to make sure that we reset somehow right now. Whether the quarter system or another system to have, I don't want to march it to the foul line, no. So yes, I would like to have something to try to alleviate all the foul shots.
Wisconsin, the way they've shot free throws as a team, might be happy with that too.
Yeah, but not being derogative, it wasn't a bad pass. It was to the wrong guy. Big kid.
We have to know who's there to catch it, right? Wisconsin's gone back to the bench. Vito Brown, a little off key.
He's been suffering from trading, for a lot of the season.
Three-point numbers, percentage-wise, down about 10% this year from last year. First 2 years didn't even attempt a three. It became a reliable three-point shooter. It's been a little more spotty this year. Ryan Kriener had a roll out. Inside 10 minutes to play here in Madison. Restatus Jim Calhoun, glad to have you with us Thursday night in the Big Ten. Badgers have to win this game if they want to keep their hope of having at least a share of the Big Ten title alive. They have to win out. Hope Purdue loses again. The Boilermakers already clinched at least a share for a record 23rd time. Now, I think initially as the ball goes out of bounds and Iowa will have it. When you say nobody's won more Big Ten regular season titles than Purdue, that surprises some people. 23 of them.
It's amazing. But you go back to, there's a guy named John Wooden who once played there. That's some pretty good names.
Yeah, a guy named Gene Cady who coached there. Long time. Matt Painter's done a terrific job.
Yep. Rick Mount. I mean, you start thinking of the names. Purdue's had some big time.
Big Dog, Glenn Robinson.
Yeah, coached by that easy coach, Gene Cady, I think his name was.
That was it.
Who would bite your head off. I was always impressed by a guy who played professional basketball And also the Steelers won for a tryout. That tells you something. His pass.
Christian Williams, not known as a scorer, more of a passer, and with that bucket off the pass from Williams to Pemsel, Iowa stops a drought that had lasted nearly 5 minutes. Pemsel in double figures with 10, and we are locked up again coming down the stretch here in Madison.
Normally, I would say that it's a bad offensive game, but the percentage don't tell you that. The turnovers might tell you that. What really telling me is most shots are being contested and a lot of physicality.
Cook is back in the game. Hayes working on him. Williams on the push, doesn't have the numbers, and wisely slows up for a moment. And travel from Brady Ellenson.
Whose fault's that? It's a pass. He's one step away from it. He's either going to knock him over or travel. And that's just going to recognize the kid. Have a sense. Great book by Bill Bradley, A Sense of Where You Are. You need a sense of where you are on the basketball court, too.
Peter Jock taking a break. Peter just 6 points, 2 of 8 from the floor tonight. Big Ten's leading scorer, getting better than 20 per night, top 25 in the country in scoring, but Wisconsin's done a good job on him defensively.
Zone for the first time. Oh, the 2-3 zone.
I will change up the looks on you a little bit. Ethan Happ.
But he's slithering so much on the baseline, you're going to have to find someone else to help you.
And Jordan Hill jumps into the passing lane and finishes. Pretty good time for Hill's first bucket in 4 games. Badgers turning up the defense. Moss. No, Hayes out of there.
Block.
That was a great
second side block. Was wonderful.
Shot fake. Ball goes out of bounds. Hayes the last to touch it. The under 8 timeout here. Wisconsin has surged back on top. Jordan Hill off the bench into the scorebook. Badgers by 4. Old Dominion in search of that 20th win. Keep watching that over and over for a while. Cook lost it on the way to the basket. It'll be Wisconsin's ball. So Iowa, who really built that first half lead on the strength of his three-point shooting, hit 7 threes in the first half, but they've only made 1 in the second, and that was hotly contested. Peter Jock hit one in. So they haven't gotten the same kind of looks here in the second half, and Wisconsin's now looking at an Iowa zone again.
Yeah, 2-3 zone. Get the ball to the right place.
Shot clock. Koenig bails him out.
That's where the zone's going to hurt you when you're down.
19 for the senior. Foul called along the baseline. I think they're going to get Bear for the call.
His first. The team's aiming.
Look at it, they called that on Jock on the screen, and then Koenig beating the shot clock. And right now you're seeing a young Iowa team that's starting to look a little frazzled in the face of this Wisconsin pressure. Badgers with the ball, 6-point lead.
It looked like to me that Mo just adopted the team, you know, and that happens.
Happens at home, it happens in this building a lot.
A lot.
The team wearing white and red. And the one that's got number 10 on their side, though that one rolls out. Bohannon. And Jock has it knocked out of bounds, trying to get it to Cook.
My question was, where is he going to go when he caught that 100 miles an hour?
Would you have minded Jock getting his feet set and taking that shot from the corner on the push?
Yeah, I would. I would maybe get a look to develop, then make a play.
Got a Jock working to the bucket, baseline out of bounds. A lot of contact he wanted to call. Play on, Badgers ball as we wind toward 5 minutes. Pulled over the free throw line.
I'd like to see the replay only because I think that Happ was very creative about how he got a position.
At the line for the Badgers, Ethan Happ.
Pencil called. Asking you shall receive. There it is.
He just slid it in there again. And that's what he does. He finds holes.
Ethan can make at least one of these. He can get into double figures. Last 2 games, scored fewer than 10 points. In fact, 4 of his last 6 has been under 10, but those other 2 he's had more than 20. As he develops, Jim, become a better free throw shooter and expand his game just a little bit outside the paint. He's already a handful, but he's really going to be a handful offensively. Missed them both here, and Iowa's able to hang around.
You know, they're going to need a hoop fairly soon, and that's obvious. But you know, you can't stay at 7 or 8 and get down to 2 minutes.
Only made 2 of their last 10 shots. Now 2 of 11.
I'll tell you how physical it's got.
And see what the foul call is that Pat Driscoll had underneath.
I saw about 4 guys hit each other. That's what I'm talking about.
The Wisconsin calls on Ethan Happ.
Picked it up, his third. 7th team foul on Wisconsin, so it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity. And lid's been on the bucket for Iowa here for a stretch. Free throw's a good way to get out of that.
They are free, aren't they?
They are. Cook a 62% shooter on the year. Pencil had it for a minute. Badgers come away with it.
That's just show Walter being who Walter is. Tough play. That
swing to Caney.
Looks more like, and that looks more like Wisconsin.
Jordan Hill, who's seen his minutes decrease in recent games, has played very well in the second half in his opportunities. Had the steal and the offensive rebound that time. Showalter.
Iowa's got trouble.
Cook. Foul flush.
And Iowa's also got something pretty good in Cook, by the way.
Under 4 minutes here, Jim.
No, plenty.
Guys hanging around.
Trying to win the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying right now the edge is starting to get closer.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
No, this is, we always say, you got a lifetime. No, that's going to happen.
From Hill.
Back to 9.
Nice pass.
Good in transition, and 1. The opportunity for Cook.
That's exactly what we saw in the Maryland game, that early transition offense into the post.
He's done that a couple of times. Remember the bounce pass from half court in the first half. Iowa hanging close. Good Jordan Hill. Just when Wisconsin was starting to get going, the steal and the dunk, and then another effort play, offensive rebound that reset it. That possession resulted in a Zach Showalter three-pointer, and Wisconsin certainly not out of the woods yet, Coach, but in pretty good shape here at home. 3:39 left, 7-point lead.
Yeah, they got some space. Now, space is a funny thing because it can be made up, but I would think maybe a little more extension in that press to try to make them play a little quicker. Once again, 7 is not a number that you have to run away from. These are important, though.
Well, there's a number that is important for Wisconsin. Ethan Happ, who fouled Tyler Cook as he finishes the three-point play. He picked up his fourth on that foul, so he'll play the last 3:39.
And just as we called it, pressure.
Yeah, no margin for error. Saw some of this in the first half from Iowa.
It's funny, late in games, sometimes teams are more unlikely to attack.
Showalter's open.
That's it. If I was going to have it work, that's exactly how I wanted to.
Bohannon thought about it for a second.
He's been well played by Showalter. That's a veteran playing guy.
Jock and Showalter, and they're going to call Zach for the foul. That's his fourth.
You know, sometimes when you let the kids play, you create things too.
Now what Showalter thought was that Jock got him with the elbow coming over the top. I'm not really, if you look at the replay of that, crowd's not happy. Jock goes to the free throw line where he is nearly automatic, better than 92% on the season.
Greg's got to get up because Fran's get the attention. I know the feeling.
Now Driscoll goes over it, and this is functioning to ice the shooter in some ways. Officials talking it over. Pat Driscoll, Terry Weiner, and Donnie Epley. Perhaps are they looking to see about the elbow coming through from Jock? I guess that's what they're looking at. We haven't heard for sure. You see he's trying to clear out of the way.
Two kids get tangled up with that to me.
Yeah. You? Yeah, I think there was so much contact there, you had to call something. Showalter had him on the waist. That's what the foul was called.
He does that very well, too.
But then Jock came over the top and made contact with the elbow. I think the question is which occurred first. And see if, well, they called the foul on Showalter, so in their judgment, I would assume the hand on the waist in the hole was what they
can't negate that
occurred first.
They're going to see and add on if there was a flagrant personal pride.
We'll have the officials after they finish taking a peek. Take another look at it. Now, Jim, you said a couple times, there's the one that Showalter took in the chops. There's the little.
He's holding on to him.
Yeah, he's holding on to him. Jock's trying to get free. Now, just because the guy's put his hand on it doesn't mean you can hit him in the face with the elbow.
No.
So and clearly, to be fair about it, that did not appear from my vantage point, my judgment, what Jock was intending to do. He was just trying to get free and get through. You said a couple of times kids just get tangled up. What would you like to see the officials call in a situation like that?
Here with a foul first. Okay, gentlemen?
Okay. All right. Pat Driscoll was pointing to us a flagrant one. Yep. They did call that on Peter Jock, so they have to finish administering the free throws down here. So Jock will have another free throw.
Yep.
And Wisconsin will go to the other end.
And the ball is down here.
Yeah.
I don't think there was intent by Jock at all.
No, I don't either.
He was not swinging or anything of that nature.
But intent doesn't absolve you from responsibility. Jock,
you know, for example, you back your car into something, crunch the rear light. There's no intent. It just happens.
I've heard rumors that can happen.
It can, and rare obviously, but it can happen.
And they said you don't like to play games. Showalter misses the first, so advantage Iowa so far. Jock made both of his. Foul on Peter, by the way. The flagrant one was only his second. And Showalter makes it 1-2 to push the lead back to 5.
The more you watch some of these kids play, and I know them some, the more you like them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The effort they give to the teams. I always say that effort and attitude should be in the DNA, but it's not always. Good pass.
and took care of that pressure as we head down toward the 3-minute mark. So after the monitor review, much discussion, we're back to finishing up this game. We've got a tight one coming down the stretch here. Wisconsin locks these games in their jaws with the lead in the last 5 minutes, and rarely do they give up a late lead. Offensive rebound from Hayes and a fresh 30.
Wow, that's surprising.
Showalter's trying to sneak up on Cook, and Tyler had no idea it was there, and he picked it up just in the nick of time. Big trip for the Hawkeyes. Wagner's in all kind of trouble, and he has to use a timeout.
Timeout, Iowa.
8 on the shot clock, 2:15 in the game. Hawkeyes down 5. On our producer, Bonnie Riley, our director, they run our tremendous crew on Thursday nights. Thanks to Vito Brown for being part of it and singing. Sorry you didn't sing a duet with him. That would have been good. All right, this last 8 seconds of this possession feels big for Iowa. Baird, good look. Another chance for the Hawkeyes. Bohannon. And that one was way off. And have a whistle. Couple of good looks for Iowa. Chance to make it a one-possession game. Just couldn't find the range.
And set very well to leave a man naked on the open side. Down the step, they can speed up Michigan a little bit with only 2 minutes to go. Not desperate, speed them up. And they can't let them have a long possession. Something's going to happen here.
Wisconsin has to use that timeout.
No, I saw the collision in the middle of the floor. But coming down the stretch, I mean, I have no question that you got to go with Russia, and I think for Iowa, they got to get the ball to Peter Jocks here. You'd always like to see them do something for either Bear or for Bohannon. And on the other end, they know who they're going to go to.
Yeah.
Tony, Nigel, and certainly Hap. Yeah. So the down with Russia to the dad.
You look at Peter Jock, he only has 8 points. This would be his 3rd lowest scoring game of the season right now. Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern from Chapel Hill, Duke and Carolina again. Blue Devils won the first one in Cameron. The Tar Heels have already clinched no worse than a share of the ACC regular season crown for the 8th time in 13 years under Roy Williams, by the way, trying to get the split. 8:15 Eastern, Sonic Blockbuster can be seen streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Now Wisconsin had the lead at the 5-minute mark, and they have not lost all season when leading at that point. 19-0, 156-5.
Good pressure
since 2011.
They've been pressing. They've been trapping it up the court on the wings. That time they sent the safety valve in to disrupt it and get the ball back. Terrific play.
Wisconsin customarily doesn't give up much in the latter stages, but Iowa has yet another chance. Missed a couple of good looks at threes. Last time they had it inside 2 minutes. This is the guy they need to get a bucket. Bohannon floater. One possession game.
I love him. He's so tough.
And the pressure
We got a 3-point game. And we got a little chatting going on.
We're going to bring Dimitri Trice in for Hill. Hill, who's played well tonight, had that last one go off.
They like Trice's defense, though. And composure. And in the court.
And another ball handler out there, too.
Good, great point.
Ooh. And a risky pass and another turnover. The steal by Wagner. Wagner rolls it in. We got a 1-point game.
You keep hitting me all you want. I love it. I hit you twice. The press changed, and Wisconsin didn't get it. They took it up to the baseline and made a lot less room.
How about the Hawkeyes in the fight? How about this last turnover? That was a risky pass and a great steal by Wagner.
That was a great steal. Very athletic, by the way. One of the reasons they want him in. He does increase the total team athleticism, defensively, rebounding.
And Wagner too, is not noted as a scorer. What do you think of the presence of mind of him seeing the opportunity and driving it immediately?
I agree 100%.
Wisconsin's turned the ball over 3 times in the last minute 43. They only turned it over 1 time in the first 17 minutes of the second half. Turnover's a problem in the first half. They have not taken care of the basketball.
This will be, I want to see what they do with the press this time. They're 2-2-1 right now. And I'm just trying to think if they'll be aggressive, because Wisconsin's going to try to get it, space it, and get up the floor. Try to get an easy one.
The Badgers now with only 1 timeout left to use against this pressure defense from the Hawkeyes.
They changed it. They took the trap off. Now we're containing. Almost a throw.
I think that was aimed for Hayes the entire time. Trice just thought it was for him as he cut down the middle.
That's funny. Here we go.
Showalter. Cook with a rebound, and Iowa with a chance to take the lead in the final minute.
I'm trying to cut him off and get a foul. He's playing, by the defense is really good.
Price sticking to the sharpshooter. And now McCaffrey's going to have to draw up something to see what he's got in his 4-second arsenal.
He had a play at the top to set a screen for Cook. He didn't recognize it.
So 4 seconds here, Jim. What do you expect to see from Fran to get that ball to Jock?
Cook had a try, but maybe having Peter Jock such an early screen, they don't have to set up this way. They may even make this diagonal. I assume we're going to see a screen to get free.
Bears putting it in bounds. See the box set from the Hawkeyes. See where the screens come.
There's the screen.
Bohannon over Happ. Happ got it, and you want to foul him immediately if you can.
Good foul. You know, it's funny because before we were talking to Fran, and he said, you know, how good Happ is, et cetera, et cetera. And he is terrific. He said, but in a tough situation, you might have to foul him. And guess what? Tough situation, they foul him. Now he's probably going to make 2 for 2, but still, percentage-wise, it's the play.
He's about 50% for the season. He's worse than that tonight, 1 out of 5.
6. Thomas is so good. That gets into your mind. He shot 60% before. Now at 50%.
As a team, Wisconsin's in the bottom 50 in the country in free throw shooting. That's because the 2 guys who shoot most of them, Happ and Hayes, have struggled. 0 for 2. See who last touched it. It'll be Iowa basketball.
And we're looking for 1 shot.
I think
how late? I'm trying to think how late.
I think if you can.
I think if you can get something you take on the road.
Yeah, I think you take it as soon as you can get it. Don't you get a good shot?
If we see what we want, let's take it.
Yeah.
Interesting ending.
Hill is returned to the game. He's guarding Bohannon. Jock working the baseline, trying to get free. There's Peter Jock, the Big Ten's leading scorer. That's who they wanted to have it. Bohannon for the lead. Yes! 2-point lead for the Hawkeyes.
Let's see what we get here. To the rim.
Koenig. No. There with the rebound. And Iowa has come into Madison and stolen it.
Look at Fran. Wow. I'm going to say double wow around, won't you?
Double wow, and you saw the 2 Bohannon brothers, both of whom played in Wisconsin, but seeing their little brother come into the house where they played and hit the gamer. A 7-0 finish to take a game away from Wisconsin down the stretch, a team that just doesn't give it up, and what a win for Iowa.
Well, and you said it best. They took the game away from Wisconsin. Wisconsin didn't give it away. They took it. all congratulations to Iowa. What a great win. Coming off, by the way, the great Maryland win.
And think about this too, Jim. Bohannon is a hero for sure for knocking down the shot. But let's not forget about the offensive rebound from Cordell Pemsel.
Great points.
And they're the Bohannon brothers, Jason and Zach. I guess blood's a little thicker than alma mater, at least tonight, huh?
No question. By the way, if you go down the line and tell me there's better 34 teams at large than them right now,
I think Iowa, with a victory at Wisconsin, a win over Purdue this year, they played themselves to the edge of it. Still have to finish, but what a win. 59-57 the final for Jim Calhoun and our entire great crew. I'm Reese Davis, SportsCenter, Steve Levy, and John Anderson right now.